I think I'm just going to start. My name is Mobo. I am from Scotland. I work with a number of organizations, creating space for artists to explore their creativity and gain knowledge in regards to how to actually make those moves into the industry. One of those organizations is called Pitch Scotland. We've had the pleasure of having James Over, Joe Ricketts, and Hyphop performing. And I am just so inspired. Like, see, when James asked me to come and speak at this and to come and join, I was super buzzing because the first time I came here, I did not realize that all of this exists here. And to just see how quickly James and the whole team have been able to galvanize everybody and to see how the community has really came behind this, it's just been nothing short of inspiring. Enough about me. Let's get going. I've got a really amazing panel here. I want to talk to them about how they go into music and also the opportunities that exist out here and some more stuff. But let's just get started. Do you want to introduce yourself in the order?
Hello. Yeah, my name's Walker. What's happening, folks? My name's Gareth, young Spencer. Been rapping the last 14, 15 years of my life. It's therapeutic for me. It keeps me alive. It's what I go back to. It's what I know. That's really it in a nutshell. When I'm not doing it, I don't really know who I am. I get reckless. But it's about the journey and embrace your journey and who you are. Being who you are is your superpower. We say a lot of these things on this mic. Sometimes we even take it for granted we say it that much. Sometimes just connect with who you are and your life story. Attach a personal story to your music. Whatever you want to do in it, rap, sing, make videos, whatever it may be. There's a position, opening up for every creative now. And I really like it's a walk of life for every single demographic. So just know that, but I'll not run off on a tangent anyway. Pleasure to be here, and ahead of time, I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to it.
No, we're here for the tangents, man. Really excited to speak to all of you. What about yourself?
What's the crack? My name's Joe. Everyone probably knows me as Wee Joe. Straight out of Larkin. Same thing, bro. I started making music as well, therapeutic. You know, grew up with it, everyone grew up with music. You know, you can't escape it, so I don't know, just took hold of me. So it is like poetry. And yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm a go by Irish mix, can't do it, but as you've all said, it's the same for all of us, you know what I mean? It's therapeutic, it's something to do with it. See if I didn't have you laughing about that, bro. See if I didn't have a focus, great love, I would be, if you knew me back in the day, probably in a box, but up away, boys.
I'm Darper. I'm an emerging artist from West Belfast. I've been doing this for about 8 years, rapping, and I don't know, I was always inspired by hip-hop growing up, do you know what I mean? Always listening to Tupac and all, they were saying West Side, and obviously I was from West Belfast, I could relate to that. And I know it's funny, like, but telling you, like, a lot of the things that they were talking about, I always related to it. And I felt like I could be like a bit of a voice from a community. I'm a bilingual rapper as well. Irish is my first language.
Amazing. Can we give a round of applause? I had the pleasure of hearing your music, all of you, whether that was at the studio or seeing you perform, and I am super impressed. What I wanted to start off with is just sort of like your journey into music. Like, where did that start? What inspired that to begin with?
Well, I suppose for me, to be honest, like, my journey into music actually came from a bit of a dark place, do you know what I mean? Sometimes growing up, you'd be seeing things, you'd be going through things that, like, affect your mental health badly, and a lot of them things, like, they're adverse experiences, you shouldn't be seeing them, you shouldn't be witnessing them, but if you can figure out how to put that pain into something creative, and maybe change somebody else's perspective, like, that's kind of been my journey, like.
Amazing. What about yourself?
I mean, I was always rapping when I was younger, you know what I mean, in school, just having a laugh, but I never took it seriously. But when I heard John Sue, he actually made something about it, he was the first one to actually do something real in this country, then I thought I could do it as well.
That's really important, especially seeing yourself in other people, right? I wonder, like, what's been ringing through, before we go on to asking about you as well, is it being an outlet, you know? Was there similar experience with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, music for me, like always, you know what I mean, you grow up in the household, like my dad, my bros and the crowd with me, you know what I mean, I grew up listening to my dad playing country music and like gospel music. One of the first artists that I ever really resonated with was an artist called Charlie Lansbury. And we, way before any of our football or any of our extracurricular activities went on, I would go to like families' houses and I'd be sitting in the corner with my guitar and they'd just be waiting for the adults to stop speaking. Just to have 5 minutes, just to be like, listen to me. It's just something, there's something burns in you different when you know you're different. Do you know what I mean? You just feel different, think different. But we come from a mentality, a small town mentality, because most of us are from a small town, so we always feel like there's something wrong with that. We feel like you think different, you feel different, you feel like, why am I not normal? But we have to reach a point in our own personal growth where, for lack of better words, it has to be fuck normal. There's 8 billion people in the world, why would you want to be like anybody else? There's only one of you. But we say all these things cliche, and some days we're afraid to say these things, and it sounds good on an Instagram post when people's reacting to their story, but they actually live in that. What I'm embracing now more than ever is the longevity of the journey. And there's been a lot of people on this panel before us today, and there's a lot of similar things that we can all resonate with that everybody shares within each panel. Along the trajectory of the journey, the genius thing you do is you just don't give up. And your uniqueness, that is your superpower, do you know what I mean? You use that to your advantage. You use your look and you use your accent and you use everything in you because it's personal preference. Somebody's always going to be worse and somebody's always going to be better. Just make sure nobody can do what you do the way you do. Then you stand out. So for me, it went from there. It was always music, and then you know what I mean. I fell in love with people like Eminem and these type of artists that I just resonated with. I resonated with the personal problems and the family problems, and it's also the weight thing. I'm looking at Eminem as a kid and I'm thinking, can I do this? Like, but my dad will tell you, he's in the crowd, like, he's from a demographic where you keep your head down, you stay silent, you get a job, and you just don't cause anybody any hassle. It's almost like we will say to our kids, don't embarrass me, instead of saying I love you. So a kid will even have 2 parents but still feel like he's been abandoned or she's been abandoned. Some days we look at our kids and we're like, don't embarrass me, you know what I mean? Don't be out here acting different, just be normal like everybody else, keep your head down. But it doesn't work, you know what I mean, if you want an alternative lifestyle. So then it was, like I say, it was suicide, and the first song was a suicide letter. I wanted to leave something. I felt hopeless. I never felt like I could be anything or anyone, and I don't know. I just got to like 16 years of age and I thought, surely life, like it can't get any worse. Like, I mean, this is just, but it's crazy looking back now, because then if that had happened, then, you know what I mean, who knows what would happen. I certainly wouldn't be here today, you know what I mean, but if I hadn't fell in love with it and I hadn't got addicted to it, genuinely I wouldn't be here. I used to be embarrassed to say it. Now I'll go anywhere in front of anybody, look anybody in the eye from any demographic, and tell you wholeheartedly, yes, music saved my life. It's the reason why I'm on this panel today, and there's a lot of people in this room who resonate with it and who understand that. If it's more than just a song to you, and it's your life, you're putting these personal stories in this music, hoping that maybe someone somewhere is going to think, I get you, I feel you. Then it's also the delivery. Do you know what I mean? You get that from like listening to people like DMX and Tupac and stuff, where we look at someone like Tupac who was 25 when he passed away. But you'd have thought the fella had 100 lifetimes. Do you know what I mean? You have to be delusional living to believe in the illusion of your vision. But we're all afraid to look delusional, aren't we? Afraid of somebody laughing at us. But the laughter's always going to be louder than your silence until you grow out of that. So just keep pushing, stay authentic to you, make sure nobody can do what the fuck you do, and keep it moving.
I'm amen to that.
Yeah, nah, music's an addiction, do you know what I mean? Whether you make it or even just listening to it. Because no matter what in everyday life, if you meet someone, you ask them what type of music they like, and they say, I don't even like music, you're like, what? Do you know what I mean? So everyone's addicted to music in some format. But for me, like I only started making music like 2.5 years ago, and obviously I feel like everyone grew up, and every rapper grew up, you know, they were listening to Eminem, Tupac and all that there, but what really gave me the drive was over in England. The past few years, the scenes blew up, you know what I mean? People who lived among the same sort of lifestyles we're living. It's not like America, where it's really different, do you know what I mean? Just over the water in England. And they were getting the views and the millions, the platforms are posting and all, and they were getting signed on. That gave me the boost, because I was like, I'm waiting about half an hour flight away from them, and there's nothing over here, do you know what I mean? I was like, what do you mean? So then whenever I started making music over here, I thought, the first approach I took was start posting them the same platforms as the wee Irish fella, do you know what I mean? And it did work to a certain degree. I was getting the views, you know, that way I was coming up and all, but you weren't really getting that like local, you know, like that local attention, do you know what I mean? You're being known on social media and stuff, but you weren't being known locally and stuff, you know what I mean? So I took a step back and started, you know, doing live performances and the shows and all, and started posting on like the Belfast platforms and that, and definitely got more like, you know, local attention from that. But posting on them big platforms and seeing big rappers make it off platforms like, you know, GRM, Press Play, Mixtape and all, you know, you definitely seen like a vision, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm actually shocked. You only started 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2021, bro.
Have you heard this guy's music? That's great. Now, I want to find out a little bit more about like your journey so far in music, because all of you started at different stages, and I'm very curious to find out like what sort of support existed. Like, how do you develop? Like, is it through collaborations? Are there organizations that are helping you? Were studios always like you record at home, or are there many other studios like Hiphop and open to the room?
I suppose like there's a lot of things available to young artists now, like especially compared to years ago. Like I would have been through Fifth Element there, I was sitting there in the front row. He's a main man. I would have been through Fifth Element a lot of times, just kinda, and obviously hotbox. But there's a lot of places where there's that sense of community and you really feel that sense of belonging. Like you can go on network as well. But I'd say Fifth Element, hotbox be the two main ones for me anyway.
I mean, I'd say we definitely need more places like Hotbox and Fifth Element around everywhere. Lurgan, for example. Is there any big studios in Lurgan? Huh?
Yeah, there's just fields. and a couple of the states as well, like fields, mate. Cheap.
Well, I definitely more places like that, more workshops, things like this that are free, you know, because it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we need more funding for younger people, especially because they don't have jobs or in school. And then, you know, if you're going to a studio, it's not cheap at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Especially if you're getting videos, etc., etc. It's not a cheap hobby.
Yeah. I definitely do agree on that's what you're saying, that it's definitely not cheap hobby. I am artist manager as well, and that's what I tell my
I remember being called Rich Smith, but I'm scared out.
you need to say it, then you need to see it, and then you need to get it. So like that's you visualize that, you know, and that's very important. And I feel like let's ramble on. Maybe tell me first, young Spencer.
Yeah, the other thing is to like open mic nights and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like for a long time, I was just releasing music, and I still had a fear of actually being out in front of people. How they would perceive the music, how they would take me from the shackle. For the last 14 years, I've been screaming PROD. No matter how many times I've broke it down, people still look at me like bald head, prod, shackle. Don't want to hear none of it. But at a certain point in time, we have to be open-minded enough to understand, well, never mind what I'm wearing. It's not what's on you, it's what's in you, because what's in you, nobody will take away from you. So it is about being in these type of rooms, it's about accepting too. You must be humble. A big part of what we do requires ego. But that ego in itself can shatter an artist. That can kill your own dream. Because when you start to reach certain metrics of success, then you start to walk into a room knowing you are somebody, you know your worth. And we all need to be told when to fix our crown, but at the same time, you can't be trying to have your crown and take somebody else's at the same time. We got one head. So, it's just, you have to put yourself out there too. Sometimes you only learn how to swim when you're in the deep end. And that was one of my biggest fears, being out in front of people. And I actually had a friend, Andy Bell, who's one of the greatest singers I've ever heard, from the same place as I am. And he actually gave me the idea. He was like, why don't you go to an open mic? And I thought, I laughed. I was like, what's that? What do you do at an open mic? And he was like, mate, you go. And just them simple wee lessons, that simple wee bit of knowledge that I didn't have. I was just going to go busking in town. Chances are, I'm going to be honest, at that time with the mentality that I had, I'd have went busking after 2 or 3 weeks, I'd have just packed it up, I'd give up. I went to the open mic, I stood in the room, he kept me till 10 to 1 after like 4 hours of performances. I was nervous, I was shaking, I was in there in the toilet, I didn't know what to do, it was literally like Eminem and 8 Mile. I was ready for running down the Lisburn Road, and I'll never forget, I remember looking out the door to my right and saying out loud, Gareth, if you walk out the door now, just give up. Don't walk out the door, go home and then start trying to record next week and all. Get on the stage, that's what you're scared to do most. Chancellors change answers. Take the chance. I get on, and for a long time it wasn't pretty either, like, to deal with a lot of laughter, a lot of people in the crowd coming and judging, but that builds your foundation. Builds your foundation, you have to accept longevity. Everybody loves to say they want to be the biggest artist in the world, but are you willing to wait the time it's going to take for the world to hear you out? That might take a lifetime. It's known sometimes too, yes, a lot of artists get one hit and they're away and they're on the radio and they're on the TV and everybody knows who they are. 99.9% don't get it like that. And if you're not prepared and you don't understand the knowledge, you don't build connections, and you don't just you're persistent with what you do, you're never going to find that out. Do you know what I mean? You still might be a step away from where you want to be, but I guarantee you're a step closer. I guarantee you're a step closer to keep pushing. The only way you're going to lose is if you actually stop. So, as I say, just find out where you need to be there, be loud, be proud. And if they don't believe it, make them feel it till they do believe it. And if they don't, sweet, let them walk out the door, somebody will. Focus on one. There's many formulas, there's many ways to get it. 2 and 2 is 4, so's 3 and 1, so's 9, take away 5. And I'm not getting lost. Being honest. Know your worth. That's your right.
I can really tell that you're a resilient person, and one of the pieces of advice that I got given when I started in music was to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, nobody's going to give it to you. You need to fight for it. You need to find the people who understand you, who believe in you. And if you look left and right, there's loads of them around you. And I think if, as a community, everyone keeps supporting each other and actually keep making that noise, the people that make the decisions need to listen to you. There's no way around it. And it's about being innovative in regards to that. What is happening right now is monumental. Like, this is going to inspire people, you know, the last 2 days. And those people are going to be the people that are going to make that change in the future. I wanted to find out from you, who inspired you when you started? Like, what artists you mentioned, Jansu, what other artists inspired you to pick up the mic from Ireland?
Do you mean just Irish artists, or do you mean just artists here?
I'm curious about the Irish artists first.
Well, for me it was like people like Rira. He was like one of the first touring rap artists from Ireland. People like Costello, John Sue, obviously, even Steve Locke as well.
I'd probably say, obviously, John Sue, #1. Versatile. Apart from Ireland, obviously your Tupac, your Biggie, just, if possible, see if you put your mind to it, that's what I was saying, and you keep going, and you don't stop, they can't ignore you, do you know what I mean? Look at me. Rocket. And he's all over that.
You say you were a rocket? You're not still a rocket?
I'm trying, mate, I'm trying. I genuinely am, look at me. You know what I mean? Sorry, focus. Focus.
100% versatile in John Sue, like, do you know what I mean? Daffo pioneers of the rap scene, like, been listening to them since I was in like first year, do you know what I mean? And it's mad, you know, I'm in the same room as them guys nowadays, so it is crazy. So that's like a form of growth, do you know what I mean? Not having £1 million views or £1 million in the bank, just being in the same room with people. Like, even before I actually started rapping, but you know, you had views, so I remember listening to you before I even went. So now you sitting on a panel with someone I used to listen to, or sitting in the same room, or backstage with rappers I used to listen to, that's growth, do you know what I mean? That's enough for me to know that I'm getting where I am, do you know what I mean? And you should look at me
It's actually, to be truthfully honest, it's actually something that I'm guilty of, like, over the years. It's something I want to learn more about. I want to learn more about artists from here and different creatives, and it's never been for a reason of I don't want to bother with people. It's just comfortable doing my own thing and recording from home for a long, long time. OJ was trying to get me to the studio for about 2-3 years. My whole thing is, he's in here somewhere, because I heard him laughing at. But my whole thing is, it just, a lot of the times, how you move is based on how you grew up and stuff, and come from a small place, and it's sort of like, don't trust people you don't know. Do you know what I mean? If they're not from here, then you hate them, and there's no reason why. It's just go along with it. My thing is just personally as Gareth, I want to work on me and become a lot more wholesome in myself, and then I feel young Spencer, it's inevitable, young Spencer's going to benefit. If I benefit as a person, if I grow and I learn and I start to put myself in rooms where I hear different artists and I hear different songs and different vibes, then it's only going to add to what I'm doing. So it's something that I actually want to learn more about as I move forward. But Jonesy is someone who's been monumental, along with a lot of other people like OJ and stuff. Daz is sitting right there to my right. Daz played my music about a couple of years ago on Skank FM. It was a monumental moment for me. Thank you, mate. Always been dead for that. And just, as I say, there's so many of these artists that I'm seeing now. I'm at Hot Bags, and like, it's changing. It is changing. Take the initiative, control the narrative, and change the aesthetic. Someone said to me yesterday in a negative connotation, you're standing there in your flag like you're some sort of superhero. In the most humblest way, my answer was, we are superheroes. We're who these kids are looking at next. And if these kids look at us and they resonate and they think you look like me and you sound like me and you're getting somewhere with your life, maybe I can. Maybe start to see the real thing. Crazy thing is too, we're surrounded by different walks of life in this room, but they always paint this narrative that there's never no peace. I don't really agree with it at this point. We might never have 100% peace, but that's just life. But we are in rooms now, and we are on stages, and we are surrounded by so many different people. We are multicultural now. This has changed right here. People from 4 different backgrounds. Do you know what I mean? And we're sitting up here, we're able to resonate. The crazy thing is, when you look at each other now, you realise, you know what, we're actually not that different. The thing we resonate on is we both missed out on a history lesson. But it's accepting that people from your own area who are shallow-minded and haven't got the history lesson will always look at you in fear. So when you start to branch out, they look at you like you think you are somebody now. But we're being told when we grow up, you are somebody. No, you're somebody. Why is it okay when we get to a certain age to stop that? You know what I mean? We all live up when we believe in Santa, believe in the tooth fairy. So why is it weird to believe in your dreams? Do you know what I mean? There's now more of a representation of change than there's ever been. Because the one thing that correlates us all is what? We look at politicians like, you have a problem, and we don't feel represented in so many different sectors. But now when you have so many different artists and creatives who are willing to come together and judge each other on what they do, as opposed to who they are first, then we can start to see real change. We already are seeing real change. The thing that I now believe in wholeheartedly, and where I appreciate that being in my own journey after 14, 15 years is, I make no mistake, Belfast is about to run the world. America's had their time, not that they've had their time, but they've dominated it in Europe, England, Dublin's moving and moving and moving and Dublin up. Belfast up next. So get ready.
That's true. That's very true. I wanted to, something that rings true in all of your messages is obviously your message of resilience, your message of the things that you see around you, some of you political. I wanted to find out from example from Rich Smith, how did that collaboration start?
Well, the collaboration started, but we knew of each other before OJ, but he was the one who made it happen, so he got us together, went to the studio, we got Atomic, got him involved, he cooked up the beats, Lee as well, he was involved, and we just got working, and it worked, didn't it? You're like me from the West, aren't you?
100%. I think it worked well because we actually have chemistry as mates as well as artists, and then I think we the both of us give a very raw, true, gritty representation of Belfast, and that's not maybe always a voice that's represented, like the communities we come from.
That's really important, I think, because as I said, it's about the communities you come from and represent those, you know. What about yourself? Like are you political in your music?
I try not to be. but you know, when you're from here, it's gonna, you know, slip through the cracks at some point. But you know, if you're from this country, you already have a political background because you're automatically going to have an identity.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Whether you make music or what. But for me, no, it's like I try to use music as an escape. Do you know what I mean? To show people that it's not just about the troubles and it's not just about the history of this country. You know what I mean? So obviously some rappers from around here have in a positive light, but for me, I try to use it as an escape and focus on other things. You know what I mean? From outside of Northern Ireland. That's what I try to do.
Well, okay. I am being rushed on. Before I ask you the final question, I wanted to find out why do you both wear masks?
There's a few reasons I wear a mask. Like, one reason would probably be because obviously Belfast is a tight-knit community. Like, there's a kind of side of it where I don't want certain people knowing because of certain things I'm saying. Maybe you wouldn't sit too well with other people that wear masks and stuff like that. Maybe with the law enforcement community. But then there's also a side of it, kind of, I don't want my mate's granny up the road, like, hearing all this madness I'm saying, do you know what I mean? Like, and also, I like the anonymity of it. I also wanted to remove the aesthetic away from music. I feel like a lot of popular music now, it is very much so about what you look like. So I just want to be a voice for my community and for the struggles they go through, rather than a face.
I like that.
Exactly what they're touched on already, like if you're rocking some mad stuff, you know, it's like, whatever it be, even stupid stuff like partying anyone, like, again, my granny don't know or anything like that, but it's a brand as well, you know what I mean? It's a brand. At the end of the day, we stand out, and we walk in these masks, and we're looking who's out in a mask, and I'm not just a wee scumbag, like, I've got my hair, well, I'm trying to get my hair straight on, bit by bit, turn by turn, but, you know what I mean?
I think masks are also like, they're basically a Belfast tradition, like, do you know what I mean? Balaclavas, like, hang about it.
Speaking to that point, but it's a real statement. They just made a real statement. We only associate masks with a negative connotation here where we're from. We don't even want to know who's behind the mask. We see a mask and we see something else with the mask and we just believe it's trouble. But we're all trouble kids, we all grow up with PTSD. Everywhere, no matter where you're from. And like I say, when you miss out on that history lesson, yeah, these kids have a mask on, but real genuine people behind the mask too. If you're not going to take the time to give them time, then you can judge them all you want, but I mean, you're only getting half the lesson. Do you know what I mean? It's when they unveil the mask and you see the person that's behind it, then it's different then. Do you know what I mean? We know now moving forward, we are a lot further on than we were 30 years ago. Because let's face it, nobody would have sat on stage 30 years ago with anybody with a mask. Now it even had me thinking about getting my own personalised mask on. But it's class to see and I salute it. And like we said, the touch on that's the visual, it's the aesthetic. Sometimes they're not going to hear you out, even though you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So make them see it then. Make them know as soon as they see it, that's different. Nobody's doing that. Maybe then they'll tune in a wee bit quicker.
I love that. Love that. I know I need to get off, but sometimes I do break the rules. One last thing, I just really want to find out from you. There's this thing I do with artists that I work with. It's called a dreaming session, right? So what does this look like to you in 5 to 10 years? Like, what I want to achieve? Where do you see the community?
I think for me, ideally, like, I'd like to travel the world with it. I'd like to break that kind of barrier of just being a Belfast artist. I am authentically Belfast because of myself, but at the same time, I want to be making music that people in other parts of the world can relate to and kind of bridge that gap between Belfast and mainstream rap.
Amazing.
100%, I want to get Belfast out there, because no one knows us, you know what I mean? They know Dublin and all, but they don't know Belfast. And then I'd like to be selling their shows, you know what I mean? Fucking headliner, Planet Love, all the out there, raves. Yeah, work hard, people, you know what I mean?
Well, like, obviously I can say red carpet standout shows and all out there, but growing up listening to artists from other countries, like America, you know, you had LA and all, New York, and you had London. I always wished I was from there. So in 10 years, I want people to wish they were from fucking here, you know what I mean? That's where I come from.
Yeah. The whole world's about to come to our doorstep. Literally. Our time is now. So just know that. and know that it might take us a wee bit longer, we might have to work a wee bit harder, but we'll get there. We eventually will get there. If I could leave you on anything, and persistent one passion when they chose to hate. Respect is earned through resilience living where I was raised. When opportunity comes, overcome and make your name, determined and dedicated to make it. P-R-O-D. The word is ours, Ryan. The word is ours, Ryan. The word is watching some people in the show. The word is ours, it belongs to us now. Make sure the whole world knows it. Give them a show.
Thank you so much for speaking with me. And we give off for youngsters so we James, Rich Snakes, and T-Mate.
Hey yo, thank you guys so much for coming. For the whole 2 days, thank you guys. Thank you to my team. Big Paige, you want to say what? And before you guys go, we're going to get a good picture. Okay, but this is the first hip-hop conference. That's what I'm going to say. In Belfast. So I want a good picture of everybody. Paige, so this is the studio manager. She also is my boss. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right, I'm going to try and keep this short because I have lost my voice over the past couple of days. Screaming for all you lot. I just want to say, like most of you know who I am now. I'm usually behind the scenes, but I just wanted to get up and say that I'm really, really proud of all of you, right? I moved over here 4 years ago. I've been working with OJ for 1.5 years. Most of that time, nobody has known who I am. But I've been watching the journey from the very beginning. When I first started working with James, it was literally one room, that small studio that everybody knows and loves. And then we expanded, and I've literally, since moving over here, I didn't know that there was even a scene before I knew of Hotbox. And I only knew of Hotbox when I applied for a job there. That is how unrecognised hip-hop has been. But over the past 1.5 years, it's growing, and we've put this event on now, and I hope you're all feeling really, really motivated and got all the information that you feel like you need to actually see a future in music, because there is one there for you. And hopefully with the academy that's going to be opening soon, we're going to be able to push that even further for you and carry on helping you get to where you want to do. So, thank you to Lee, our amazing producer. Lydia's head, obviously, we're not there right now. Everyone at the Crescent Arts Centre, they've been so accommodating, and they've been really, really helpful in making sure that everything is run smoothly. And to all you guys, you've honestly, the past 2 days, there's been so much work that has gone in on everybody's side. Everyone involved has put work in, but you guys, you've made sure that it runs smoothly. You've made it as easy as possible for us to make sure that this event could be as beneficial as possible for everyone. So thank you, and good luck with your careers.
Now, everybody come to the front. Let's squeeze our picture.